Welcome back, everybody, to Nain Shorts. It's been a busy week. A lot of things have been happening between Rick and I, and the lessons have just really been piling on, and they become kind of an everyday thing. And for those of you who are committed to the martial arts, it's a big part of your life where it becomes your everyday versus just when you go to class. And we've been talking about the self and the person from the mechanical aspects of how your body moves and how you incorporate that into whatever movements you do, whether it's martial arts or anything physical, to the mentality behind it. How do you view yourself, what you learn, and the things that you're learning, and more importantly, your personality and the parts of you that hold you back from that. So I want to add on to that in that now we're thinking about the other person, the person in front of us. Now, that person could be a multitude of things, but today specifically I want to talk about the instructor in front of you. Now, most people in the martial arts world, they had a want, a desire to learn martial arts or some sort of self-defense, and they either knew somebody who knew somebody and they were referred, or they looked for them. They did their research. They opened up, Google. Rick said Yellow Pages, but I don't know how many people around my age are going to get that reference. So I'm going to go with Google. He just gave me a thumbs up, folks. It was priceless. But the point I'm trying to make is that what gets you through the door is going to be different for every single person. What keeps you there, though, that's going to really matter on how you view what you've received, and more importantly, the person you received it from. If you were referred to somebody, it's usually because you already have some sort of established relationship with somebody in the know, whether you're a practitioner or not. You know somebody who is. They could be your former instructor and say, hey, you're getting to a point where you should go see my instructor, or you're trying to learn something different. I know this one guy who's really good with that. Let me introduce you to that person. When that happens, we have this idea of what to expect already. We have a sense of what you're looking for and what you're going to get in return. On the other side, when you have no background, no reference, and you're just looking for something for whatever reason, then you're kind of a bit more cautious and apprehensive. You're like, okay, let me check this out. Let me see if it's for me, whether or not it fits what I'm trying to do or not do. Whatever the cases are, you seem to be a little bit more, because we're sort of blinded by the idea that this person, because they're established, because they have a title, a belt or something, they know exactly what they're talking about. Now, most of the time that is very true. However, the information that goes for you and for your goals may not match what's being taught or the way that it's being taught. How do you differentiate between them? There's nothing wrong with respect, and I think respect is very important no matter who you meet, regardless of title. But once you get deep enough, we almost hold our instructors to such a high pedestal that they can't do any wrong. But is that necessarily the best way to take in information? In my opinion, there are three major criteria when it comes to learning. There is the student, how well you take information, and what you do with that information. There are the instructions. What was said? How was it said? And then the instructor. Now, at any given point, those three are always bouncing back in reference to importance. For me, I think the instructions and the student become the more important rather than the instructor. And the reason I say that is because in my personal growth, at one point in time, I tried very hard to look like my instructors. In other words, I was trying to move like them. But the instructions that they were giving me didn't fit the parameters of what I saw visually, of what I was trying to imitate. And because of that, as a student, I was a bit stagnant. I wasn't able to grow. Now, mind you, I wasn't referred to these guys to begin with. I made a decision for myself as a student to say, I want to learn something to protect myself. And these are the guys that I came across. I knew a little bit about FMA. They were one of the first few people that I taught FMA. And that's 7.5 years later, here I am, now as an instructor. But could I have progressed further? Could I be further along had I not spent so much time trying to imitate the instructor instead of actually listening to the instruction? Now, all the previous Nain shorts talk about what is and isn't important when it comes to how we take information. And I think that when it comes to the instructor, how we view the instructor can make a huge difference on how well we accept the information that's being given to us. For example, you've been in your system for however many years, you're even ranked. All of a sudden you get to meet your instructor's instructor or the grandmaster of that particular system. And they come by and they give you the information and you take it as gold and you're like, yeah, I want to move like that guy, I want to do it like that. But is it actually helpful? Have you questioned it? Not to say that you're going to be disrespectful, but really ask, is what was given to me useful for what my goals are in this art or what I'm trying to accomplish? Or am I just taking it at face value because it came from the guy? And while we should acknowledge people's titles, I think that should stop at the door. We've all heard the term empty your cup. And I think part of emptying your cup isn't just the information that you bring with you that can keep you from that. It's also the way that we view the people in front of us, because that too is a form of information. Hey, that's so-and-so. He trained with this person and that person and that person. Oh man, really? I gotta meet him. Now, are you just being starstruck? Are you just being a fan? Or do you genuinely want to take what they say and do something with it? On the other side, you meet somebody, no title. No one referred them to you. People barely know who they are. But they give out incredible information, things that would really help you. Do you miss out on a great lesson simply because, I don't know that guy. Who is he to tell me or give me information? I've been doing this for however long. Why do I need to listen to what he has to say or she has to say? Don't mean to be gender specific. But do our biases work in favor or against? Can we dismiss title completely and just see a person? Someone that we can say, I want to learn something from this individual. Because even a bad instructor can give good information. But the instructor isn't what makes the student. The student has to take their time, has to do the work to really make what was given to them work for them individually. So are we capable of truly dismissing all these arbitrary things that they've well deserved, titles that they've earned through a long career of practicing, to break down really what was given to you, the information, and say, okay, this is useful for me, or no, this is not useful for me, but can I make it useful for me? And I think the way that we view ourselves in letting go of our ego, emptying our cup completely to be able to absorb new information, doesn't just go as far as what you're listening to, but how we view the person in front of us. I think it's very important for us to really establish a sense of how to evaluate somebody in front of us with basic respect. Question whether or not the information is helpful for us in what we're trying to achieve, and how much of it are we really going to remember? Because whether you're there for a quick seminar and you're just there to have fun and pick something up, or you're moving on to another school or another instructor because that's where your needs have taken you, how you start that off is going to really determine how quickly you can move along or how slowly you can move along, because these things will affect the way that you take in information. Well, that's all I have for today, folks. Thank you very much for joining me again on Nain Shorts. I'll see you next week. 3, 2, 1, cut!